You can have the best of intentions, maintain a diet that always worked for you when you were young. But if you are over 60, there are foods in your fridge right now that are silently aging you faster, inflaming your body, and sabotaging your health. And the worst part, maybe you're eating it every day thinking you're doing the right thing. Meats that seem practical, drinks that promise lightness, products with the light or zero label. All of this may seem harmless, but the truth is different. Some foods are real enemies of the heart, kidneys, brain, and even bones, especially in old age. And in this video, you will discover what are the 5 foods that every elderly person should eliminate from the refrigerator immediately? It's not an exaggeration. It's not a theory. It's simple choices that can protect your life or seriously compromise your future. So watch until the end, because this could be the most important list you've ever seen about your diet. And if you are concerned about your own health or that of someone in your family, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Here, you learn what the industry doesn't want you to discover. Full alert: the hidden danger in processed meats, ham, sausage, and mortadella. If there is one food that should be banned for seniors, it is processed meat. Ham, sausage, mortadella, salami, and smoked turkey breast are among the most dangerous items in the refrigerator of those over 60. And the most alarming thing is that many people still believe that one slice won't hurt. But it does, and a lot of it. Do you eat any of these? Leave a comment below. These foods are rich in saturated fats, excess sodium, chemical additives, and preservatives such as nitrites and nitrates. These components have been associated by several scientific studies with a higher risk of hypertension, kidney failure, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and even Alzheimer's. For a younger, healthier body, the damage may take longer to appear. But in an older, more sensitive body with a slower metabolism, the effects are cumulative and faster. One of the biggest problems is the sodium. Hams and sausages can have almost twice the recommended daily amount of salt in just one serving. This leads to a dangerous condition of fluid retention, increased blood pressure, and kidney overload. A serious risk for those who already suffer from kidney problems or take medication to control their blood pressure. It's like throwing gasoline on a burning fire. Furthermore, the preservatives, the toxins present in these foods are highly inflammatory. They not only harm the intestine and nutrient absorption, but also generate a state of alert in the immune system, which over time accelerates cellular aging and increases the risk of autoimmune and degenerative diseases. And there's more. These meats are low in fiber, high in bad fat, and extremely high in calories. In other words, they offer little nutritional value, cause false satiety, and contribute to abdominal weight gain. The most dangerous thing for the health of the heart and liver in the elderly. The false practicality is also a problem. Many elderly people or their caregivers choose these foods because they are easy to prepare. Just open the package and put it on bread. But this convenience hides a high cost, the silent deterioration of health. The substitution can be simple. Instead of ham, opt for homemade shredded chicken, boiled eggs, natural tuna, low-fat cheeses without preservatives or even chickpea paste, hummus. These options are rich in quality protein, do not inflame the body, and also strengthen the immune system and muscles. Eliminating processed meats from the refrigerator is one of the smartest decisions a senior can make, and the sooner it happens, the better the body's response will be. Soft drinks. The sweet and sour trap that corrodes the health of the elderly. I used to really like soda, but now I avoid it as much as possible. Leave a comment below to tell me what your favorite is, and I'll tell you if it's very or very harmful. Few foods are as widely consumed, and at the same time as harmful, as soda. Whether it's the traditional sugar-sweetened version or the sugar-free version, the truth is that no version is safe, especially for those over 60. And yet, it is common to find soft drinks in the refrigerators of seniors whether as an innocent pleasure or a refreshing accompaniment. What many do not realize is that this habit is undermining health day after day. Let's start with sugar. A single can of regular soda can contain up to 10 teaspoons of sugar, a glycemic bomb that causes sudden spikes in blood glucose levels. In an older body, which often already suffers from insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, these spikes increase the risk of cardiovascular complications, blindness, neuropathy, and kidney failure. For an elderly diabetic, drinking soda frequently is practically a game against one's own health. Now think about zero soft drinks, which many believe are healthier. The problem here is the artificial sweeteners, such as aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame K. Recent studies show that these compounds, although they do not contain calories, alter the intestinal microbiota, affect metabolism, and increase the risk of diabetes and weight gain. Exactly what they should avoid. Additionally, all soft drinks, including sugar-free ones, contain phosphoric acid, a substance used to flavor and preserve the product. This acid has a silent but destructive effect, reduces calcium absorption, and contributes to the weakening of bones. At a stage in life when osteoporosis is already a real threat, consuming soft drinks regularly is like accelerating bone fragility. What's more, the gas in soft drinks causes bloating, abdominal discomfort, and, in some cases, increased gastroesophageal reflux, especially common in older adults who already have digestive sensitivity. In addition, soft drinks contain artificial colors and preservatives that affect the liver and make it difficult for the body to detoxify. Eliminating soda from the fridge may seem difficult at first, but it is one of the most powerful actions to protect the health of those over 60. The replacement can be done gradually, swapping of lemon water, natural iced teas, fresh coconut water, or diluted natural juices, without added sugar. Every glass of soda you skip is a gift to your kidneys, heart, bones, and brain. It's not just about cutting out the sweet stuff. It's about stop a daily chemical assault on the aging organism. Margarine, the fat that promises lightness but delivers inflammation and heart risk for decades, margarine has been marketed as the healthy alternative to butter. With its flashy packaging and slogans about low cholesterol, it has earned a permanent place in the refrigerators of many families, especially the elderly. But behind its creamy appearance and promise of lightness lies one of the worst types of fat for an elderly body: a industrialized trans fat. Margarine is produced from hydrogenation of vegetable oils, a chemical process that transforms liquid oils into solid, stable pastes. This process creates trans fats, which are extremely harmful to the cardiovascular system. Even small amounts are enough to significantly increase bad cholesterol, LDL, decrease good cholesterol, HDL, and inflame the arteries. For those over 60 years old, an age at which the heart, arteries, and circulatory system are naturally more sensitive, continue consuming margarine, it is a direct risk to life. Continued use is associated with increased risk of heart attack, stroke, arteriosclerosis, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation. All of this can happen silently, without pain or obvious symptoms. Another serious point: margarine contains emulsifiers, artificial colors, and flavors which increase the toxic load on the body, especially on the liver. In elderly people who already use continuous medication, this overload makes it difficult to metabolize the substances, reduces the effectiveness of the medicines, and can generate unexpected side effects. Unlike natural butter, which is derived from milk and contains nutrients such as vitamin A and small amounts of good fats, margarine offers no real health benefits. It is a product created in a laboratory, with flavor and texture artificially constructed to simulate a traditional food. Unfortunately, margarine is still present in the breakfast and dinner of many elderly people, in bread, tapioca, cake, recipes, and even in frying pans. Taking it out of your routine isn't just a smart choice, it's a necessity. The good news is that there are much safer and more nutritious alternatives. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, good quality butter, unsalted in small quantities, or even natural spreads like tahini, sugar-free peanut butter, or guacamole can offer flavor and health at the same time. It's not about giving up flavor, but choosing what nourishes rather than poisons. And for those over 60, every choice makes a difference in the functioning of the heart, brain, and immunity. Flavored yogurts. The sweet disguised enemy in seniors' refrigerators, yogurt is often seen as a healthy food, ideal for breakfast or an afternoon snack. And in fact, full-fat, additive-free natural yogurt can be a great ally for your health, especially because it contains probiotics that aid digestion and strengthen intestinal flora. But there is a serious problem. Most yogurts found on supermarket shelves are not healthy at all, especially those that come with strawberry, vanilla, or red fruit flavor on the label. These products are actually true ultra-processed desserts loaded with sugar, thickeners, artificial flavorings, and colorings. Many seniors consume these flavored yogurts with the intention of taking care of their health. After all, it seems like a lighter option than a cake or bread with butter. What they don't know is that a single cup of these yogurts can contain 15 to 20 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 4 or 5 heaped teaspoons. This is a real attack on the pancreas, especially in an organism that already has a tendency towards insulin resistance or diabetes. But sugar isn't the only villain. These yogurts also contain modified fats, chemical thickeners, and artificial colors such as red 40 and yellow tartrazine, substances that can cause inflammation, allergic reactions, changes in intestinal flora, and even long-term neurological problems. And what's more, many of them do not contain live probiotics, despite the advertising. The pasteurization process after fermentation eliminates the beneficial microorganisms, leaving only artificial flavor and sugars. In other words, they do not help with digestion, do not strengthen the intestine, and even harm metabolic health. In the elderly, this type of product can generate increased blood sugar, weight gain, worsening bowel function, imbalance of the microbiota, intestinal flora, increased systemic inflammation. And all this happens for something that seems harmless. The replacement is simple. Choose whole natural yogurt, sugar-free and flavorless. It can be enriched with chia seeds, flax seeds, cinnamon, low glycemic fruits, such as strawberries, papaya, or blueberries. This is real food, no chemicals, no traps, and with real benefits for digestion, immunity, and glycemic control. Eliminating. Flavored yogurt from your fridge is a simple but powerful step toward protecting your gut, reducing hidden sugar in your diet, and preventing diseases that creep up on you silently. Boxed juices. The natural illusion that intoxicates the elderly body every day. Many people believe that drinking fruit juice in the morning is a healthy habit. And this idea has been reinforced by decades of commercials and packaging that use words like natural, rich in vitamins, or preservative-free. But the reality behind these boxed juices is quite different, especially for those over 60. Let's start with the composition. Most industrialized juices contain sugar added in large quantities, even when the label claims to be 100% fruit. This happens because the industrialization process involves the removal of fibers and the concentration of natural sugars in the fruit, which increases drastically the glycemic index of the drink. In other words, you consume what is sweet, but you lose what is really nutritious. For an elderly person's body, this means blood glucose spikes, requiring the pancreas to release intense insulin, something dangerous for those who already live with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. And even those who have not yet been diagnosed may be silently heading towards insulin resistance, just by maintaining this daily habit. In addition to sugar, these boxed juices usually contain preservatives, artificial colors, and flavors, such as sodium benzoate, industrial citric acid, and natural essences that are anything but natural. These substances directly affect the liver, kidneys, and intestine, organs that already function more slowly in old age. Another serious problem is the total absence of fibers. While a whole orange offers nutrients and regulates sugar absorption, the juice of the same fruit, especially the industrialized one, only delivers liquid glucose, overloading the metabolism and generating hunger faster, which favors weight gain, especially in the abdominal region, where fat is more inflammatory. And, even worse, many of these juices have high amounts of hidden sodium used to balance flavor and preserve acidity. This contributes to increased blood pressure, fluid retention, and renal overload, a serious risk for elderly people with high blood pressure or mild renal insufficiency. If you are over 60, the recommendation is clear. Juice in a carton is not juice. It is an industrialized, ultra-processed drink that is potentially dangerous to your health. The ideal replacement is simple. Eat fruit in a place of expressiveness, and if you are going to prepare juice at home, use filtered water. Fruits. In moderation and whenever possible, keep the pulp and fibers. Natural juices with carrot, lemon, ginger, mint, cabbage, and a small piece of apple are excellent alternatives. Refreshing, anti-inflammatory, and the real deal. Taking carton juice out of the fridge is a small gesture with a huge impact. And your body will feel the difference. Ultra-processed cheeses, the false snack friend that harms bones, kidneys, and heart. When we talk about dangerous foods for the elderly, many people immediately think of sweets, fried foods, or soft drinks. But few suspect the villain that is at the heart of many snacks and breakfasts, ultra-processed cheese. This type of cheese, which melts easily, lasts for weeks in the refrigerator and comes sliced or packaged in plastic. It's not real cheese. And it could be harming your health more than you realize. We are talking about products like industrialized mozzarella, Prato cheese, cream cheese, fast food cheddar, processed and creamy cheeses. These foods are formulated with modified fats, lots of sodium, dyes, and chemical additives to give flavor and texture, but they have little or no real nutritional value. They are ultra-processed foods that imitate cheese, but deliver a toxic load to the body, especially to the elderly. The excess sodium is one of the biggest problems. Many of these cheeses contain more than 400 mg sodium per slice, which, added to other salty foods throughout the day, easily exceeds the recommended daily limit. This leads to fluid retention, increased blood pressure, kidney strain, and increased risk of kidney failure. For elderly people with high blood pressure, continued consumption of these cheeses is extremely dangerous. In addition to sodium, there is excess saturated fat, which contributes to clogged arteries, increased bad cholesterol, LDL, and the risk of heart attack or stroke, especially in people with a history of cardiovascular problems. Not to mention the artificial colors and thickeners used to give color and creaminess, which affect the liver and silently inflame the body. Another critical point is the lack of calcium and real nutrients. Many older people believe that they are strengthening their bones by eating cheese, but this is only true when it comes to real cheeses, produced by hand, such as cured Parmesan or fresh Minas cheese, and even then in controlled quantities. Ultra-processed cheeses do not contribute to bone health and also hinder the absorption of other important nutrients such as magnesium and vitamin D. And for those who suffer from reflux, slow digestion, or intestinal problems, these cheeses can still ferment in the stomach, causing discomfort, bloating, gas, and a feeling of heaviness. Replacing is possible and necessary. Opt for fresh cheeses with few ingredients, homemade ricotta, fresh Minas, cottage cheese without preservatives, or even small amounts of real Parmesan. And remember, less is more. Cheese doesn't have to be in every meal. Eliminating processed cheeses from your fridge isn't about losing flavor. It's about restoring the health of your heart, kidneys, bones, and brain. And for those over 60, this choice makes all the difference. Stuffed cookies and coffee biscuits, the silent sweets that inflame the body and accelerate aging. Many seniors keep a box of filled biscuits, buttery biscuits, or industrial cookies in the fridge or pantry, whether to accompany their coffee, satisfy their hunger between meals, or offer to visitors. It seems harmless, a treat, a household custom. But these snacks hide one of the biggest dangers of modern eating: excess sugar, trans fat, and ultra-processed chemical additives. Stuffed cookies and industrial biscuits are designed to be hyper-palatable, that is, addictive. The combination of refined sugar, white flour, hydrogenated vegetable fat, and artificial flavors causes the brain to associate these foods with immediate pleasure, making it difficult to control the amount consumed. An elderly person may think that they are eating just 2 cookies, but the truth is that this is enough to cause a spike in blood glucose, systemic inflammation, and digestive overload. Let's look at the numbers. 3 units of stuffed biscuits can contain the equivalent of 5 teaspoons of sugar, in addition to trans fat, which is a type of industrialized fat banned in several countries because it is directly linked to cardiovascular diseases, inflammation, and even certain types of cancer. For an elderly person's body, which is naturally more sensitive, this mixture is disastrous. These foods are also extremely poor in fiber and nutrients. They don't provide vitamins, they don't sustain, they don't really nourish, but increase hunger shortly after, unbalance the intestinal flora, and encourage abdominal weight gain, the most inflammatory and dangerous factor at this stage of life. Furthermore, the very high glycemic index. These products force the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin, which over time can contribute to the onset or worsening of type 2 diabetes. And even in people who don't have diabetes, these spikes and drops in blood sugar cause dizziness, loss of energy, memory lapses, and difficulty concentrating. And then there's the impact on the gut, the additives and preservatives used in these. Cookies negatively affect the gut microbiota, impairing immunity, mood, and the absorption of essential nutrients. The substitution can be simple and tasty. Instead of industrial cookies, choose fresh fruits with fiber, such as apples with skin, papaya, or plums. Unsalted nut mix. Homemade cookies made with oats, banana, and cinnamon. Small amounts of 70% cocoa. Chocolate pieces. Eliminating these treats from the fridge or cupboard doesn't take away the pleasure of eating. It's replacing disguised poison with real flavor and true health. Now you know, what you take out of the fridge today can extend its life tomorrow. We come to the end of this list with a clear warning. Your refrigerator could be sabotaging your health every day, without you realizing it. It's not the big excesses that make the body sickest over the years, but rather the small, repeated habits, the harmless foods that accumulate over time. And when the body ages, it takes its toll, with pain, fatigue, and silent illnesses that could have been avoided with simple everyday choices. Throughout this video, you discovered the 5 foods every senior should eliminate from their fridge. Right now, processed meats like ham and sausage, which inflame the body and strain the heart. Soft drinks, including the zero ones, which harm the liver, bones, and brain. Margarine, an artificial fat that poisons the blood and damages the arteries. Flavored yogurts, full of sugar and additives that feed disease instead of nutrition. Light or diet ultra-processed products, disguised as healthy, but full of chemicals that the body can no longer process as before. These foods don't offer anything your body actually needs. On the contrary, increase the risk of hypertension, diabetes, kidney problems, osteoporosis, obesity, mental confusion, and chronic inflammation. The good news is that it's never too late to start changing. The body has an incredible ability to adapt, regenerate, and respond positively to conscious decisions. Swapping out what's in your fridge. It's not just a food exchange. It's an exchange of destiny. And here's a challenge for you. Today, go to your refrigerator. Remove at least one of these foods right now. Do it for yourself, for your energy, for your sleep, for your memory, and for your quality of life in 5, 10, 15 years. Because those who take care of their bodies today reap freedom tomorrow. And if this content helped you in any way, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Every week, we bring you real, straightforward, no-nonsense tips on health, nutrition, and longevity. Because aging healthily isn't a matter of luck. It's a choice.